I'm working in R and I'm attempting to use a function called glimpse, but as you can see, when I run this code, it's reporting back an error that it could not find this function. The number one reason you're going to encounter an error like this is because you're trying to invoke a function that belongs to a package that is not currently loaded in your active R session. You can think of packages as like additional toolboxes that add extra functionality to R. And if you attempt to reach for a tool or function from a toolbox that you have not yet imported or loaded, then you're going to run into errors like this. Step one in fixing this problem is identifying, well, what is the package or the toolbox that the function you're attempting to use comes from? If you're unsure what that package is, just do a quick search or ask an AI program for something like R package, followed by the name of the function you're attempting to use. And as you can see in this example, the first hit will take us to rdocumentation.org. And on this page, above the title of the function, it tells us the package that it belongs to. It's something called dplyr. So now that we know that, coming back to our R environment, the first thing we want to do is install that package. We're going to do that with the command install.packages, and then in quotes, we're going to say dplyr. With that package installed on our computer, we're not quite done yet. In fact, if I attempt to run my glimpse function again, I'm getting the same error because what I need to do is now load that package into my current R session. The way I'm going to do that is at the top of my script, I'm going to use the library command followed by the name of the package. Now note, when I did install.packages to install dplyr, I did surround it in quotes. It is required there. But when we're loading it via the library function, we don't need to surround it in quotes. I'm going to go ahead and run that line, and now I should be able to access that glimpse function. And perfect, that's the output I'm expecting. I'm no longer seeing an error message. What the glimpse function does is it just gives us a nice summary of a data set, and in this case, we're using the example built-in data set called mtcars. Another common reason you might encounter that function not found error is simply just because of a typo in the name of the function you're trying to invoke. Let's say I accidentally forgot the S and I try to run this code. Even though I have the dplyr package loaded, it's still unable to find it because there's no function called glimp. Another common gotcha can happen with casing. So R is a case-sensitive language. So let's say you had invoked this with a capital G, but you spelled everything correctly. That's still not going to work because there's no function with a capital G glimpse. So let's go ahead and fix that and make sure we still have access to our function. Looks like we're good to go. And to wrap this up, I want to rewind a little bit and talk about the install.packages and the library command I used. You might have noticed that when I installed the package, I did it down here in the console, but when I loaded the package, I did it in my script itself. Specifically, I did it at the top of the file. The reason I did this is because installing packages is like a one-time thing. Once it's installed on your computer, you always have access to it. But anytime we start a new R session, let's say I had closed RStudio and reopened it and I continued to work on this script, I'm going to need to make sure that I reload any of the libraries that I'm using in that script. And so by encoding that step as part of the script itself, it ensures that that happens. So long story short, hopefully this set you on the right track if you were encountering an error in R about not being able to find a function.